After preparing, recording, editing, and uploading videos about VR Troopers and Beetleborgs, I got an idea of what could have been done if Saban, or any other studio for that matter, wanted there to be an action show that does something similar to what Power Rangers does. First of all, it would be best to not start in a hurry. I mean, it's not for the show to intentionally rival Power Rangers. You just wanted to do some of the same things Power Rangers was doing. And you'd like for the show to appeal to those people watching Power Rangers, as well as those who would like to see a different kind of heroes in similar circumstances. So it's only sensible to wait for the right opportunity. Now, if you're fortunate enough to find it soon enough, there is another Japanese media franchise going on at the time, which is Metal Hero. Then it's the year 1995. At this point, Power Rangers is in its third season. And while that's happening, the current Metal Hero series that is airing is Juko B Fighter. In that series, there is a team of 3 who can encase themselves in mechanical suits of blue, red, and green by a transformation. And you see this as the perfect candidate show to adapt into a show for the English-speaking audience. Once you get granted the rights to use stuff from that show, you can get started on the new show. Have your production crew ready and decisively choose the correct people to be your cast of characters. Not just for portraying the human characters, but the non-human enemies. Because even though they'll be voicing over English dialogue in the Japanese footage most of the time, at some point the costumes may be needed for American footage. In each regular episode, there needs to be when the heroes are fending off the foot soldiers in their civilian forms. And the colors in the clothes that the heroes wear always match the color of the respective suits. The transformation have to look like the human heroes are enclosed in the suits. Referencing the transformations in the original show can be for an inspiration. And of course, one monster at a time to get rid of. Although it may not have to be an enemy to defeat in every episode. However, the Japanese show does feature battle mech similar to whatever is known in Power Rangers as Zords. Footage of that just might have to be used in the adaptation at some point, given the circumstances of the storyline. It's just that you'd better not call them Zords. What about the title of the show? Well, since the suits do resemble beetles, I guess having beetle in the name might as well be without question. More directly, the suits just so happen to be more mechanized than the Super Sentai suits in its traditional sense. So, for exactly what the heroes are, the name of the team should resonate with that somehow. You can refer to the title of other Metal Hero shows if you want. The three heroes who are wearing the suits should not be written in a way that they are bland and stereotypical. If the audience is going to follow them, there needs to be enough character depth for each of them. Not only should there be diversity among them, but they each need to have the right personality that is worth being an asset to the rest of the team. Optionally, the original show can be referred to for this specific aspect as well. In the Japanese show, there was a substitution for some reason in the person wearing the red suit. There's no need for the adaptation to do the same thing. The setting of this new show can have some elements that VR Troopers had. The hero wearing the blue suit can do the narrating in the beginning and ending of an episode. The three heroes can be students of a martial arts school in the vicinity that they live in, soon to be co-trainers. And it can also have a counterpart to Zordon, being a talking computer with a human figure. A counterpart to Bulk and Skull is a little optional. It just depends on how much comedy the show needs. But something to consider is that although the show does some of the same things Power Rangers does, it does not occur in the same universe. Now, the right time to start airing episodes of this new show depends on your progress. But given the number of episodes to reuse the footage, my best advice is this. First, make all the episodes for the first season. Then, while the first season is being premiered, work on episodes of another season. Spend 6 to 12 months videotaping original stuff and editing most of it with Japanese footage. But reveal the show and release the episodes as soon as you have enough episodes to keep the audience occupied while you make more episodes. As for how long the show can last, for one thing, you simply can't keep it ongoing. It can only be for 2 seasons at best. Unlike Power Rangers, where you have to wait several years for an ending in particular, this new show should have a resolution. After all, whoever watches the show would expect that all the villains are dealt with and the heroes need to move on afterwards. But it won't be regretted. If the show is good enough, it's got to end good enough while it's good enough. And that's the most I can think of. I believe that my listed suggestions can make up something worth calling better than the shows that didn't try hard enough, such as VR Troopers and Beetleborgs. Even if those shows ever did have a following while they lasted, they still turn out to be underperformances in general. I just think that wrong ideas were applied and whatever was actually right wasn't applied enough. Look, I know it's the 1990s, which is a time when young people want to sit in front of the TV every Saturday morning. But when those people in that audience are engaged in a show with a storyline that stretches throughout every episode of the series, the studio that makes that show needs to prove that there is enough genuineness applied in the show. Take my word for it. It's not just about the characters and the concept. If the show has an overarching story to tell in the first place, and it's not structured enough to tie everything together, what's the use? And whether you like it or not, that same audience will have to accept that The story they could see in the show has to end whether they like it or not. And that's another thing. Not every TV Y7 action show deserves to evolve into a massive media franchise like Power Rangers. So that's what this video is about. What Saban could have done and should have done if they would like to produce a television series that does similar things to Power Rangers. VR Troopers and Beetleborgs were overall not good enough to be at that point. If Saban couldn't settle with Power Rangers, that studio really should have put more work to their new shows that they desired to be on a similar level, if not the same level. And if any other studio would like to give it a try, they better make it evident that they will not make those same mistakes.